Fill in the blank, backup quarterback edition. Best backup quarterback to serve as a mentor to a starter 2024 is who, Miles?
This is maybe a weird choice, but roll with me on this. I know we saw him at the top of the show when I couldn't hear, but like Jameis Winston.
It's my
I
guy
think
too.
Jameis,
It's mine
yeah,
too.
okay, because Jameis Winston is a vibes guy. And what do you want from a backup quarterback than vibes and positivity and support? And I think that, especially for Deshaun Watson this year, there is probably nobody better for that quarterback room than Jameis Winston, because he is going to support the absolute hell out of Deshaun Watson. And if there is a situation where Jameis Winston has to go in there, at least he's got a big enough arm that he can do the job. But I just think from a quarterback room standpoint, he is going to be great for the Cleveland Browns this year.
I think he's exactly what they need, because Deshaun Watson is so caught up, I believe. And you could just see it in his demeanor. Not that he's ever really been all that different, but when you take circumstances and you look at just, it's kind of like, think about it. His life has been an open book for 3 years. He's still, not that he's blameless. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, how does he operate in this pressure-packed environment where he is? You've got the off-field issues. You've got the trade. You've got the massive contract that he's not yet lived up to. And it just feels like the walls are closing in. And there's nobody better than Jameis Winston to get him to ignore all that and let's go have some fun. And I have a feeling that he'll say whatever it takes to get Deshaun Watson to maybe laugh, maybe smile, just get loose and be able to go out and play his best football. And Jameis Winston isn't going there with designs on, he doesn't come off as the guy who's got that guile and that secret agenda and, I'm going to be the starter here. I'm going to prey upon Deshaun Watson's flawed circumstance and he's going to, no. Jameis Winston's going there to help. He wants to help, and I think he brings that quality that will help Deshaun Watson just kind of calm down. Just that it's the John Candy moment. Do you know the John Candy story from Super Bowl 23 when the 49ers go out for the final drive, what will be the game-winning drive, and everybody's all tight and nervous, and I'm sure I'm paraphrasing, bastardizing. I'm sure I'm getting something wrong, but the way it's been encrypted into my brain is that when they're in the huddle before the first snap of this drive where they're trailing the Bengals and they've got to go down the field, and they ultimately do. Spoiler alert, the 49ers won Super Bowl 23 against the Bengals on a touchdown pass to John Taylor. Joe Montana says, hey, look, there's John Candy. Because John Candy was sitting in the front row somewhere, and that kind of made everybody relax. So Jameis Winston is going to be the, hey, look, there's John Candy guy for Deshaun Watson and get him to relax in the key moment.
We had a guy like that when I was playing high school football. John Wilson, one of the best players on the team, who the local paper once said he would have driven the bus home if he had his CDL. But there was one game, he came into the huddle. He started seeing Conte Partiro right before a big drive. But that's the same kind of thing. It loosened us all up. We all got ready, and then we executed the drive, won the game. So that's the kind of thing that actually does make a difference, I think.
All right, next topic on the fill-in-the-blank backup quarterback edition slate. Most faith. Backup quarterback in whom you have most faith to win an emergency start is who?
I'm going to say Blaine Gabbert, in part because he plays for the Chiefs and Andy Reid gets his guys ready. You had Chad Henne there before, and he was able to go into the game in a playoff situation, lead a touchdown drive so that Patrick Mahomes could come back in. But I guess it's sometimes a team thing, right? Where if you have somebody that you trust because they're a veteran and they can go in and they can do whatever they need to do, that's what helps you. And if you have a veteran team like the Chiefs are, and they know how to win, then that collective experience can lift up the backup quarterback. So it's more the Chiefs than Blaine Gabbert, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And we have seen that from them with Chad Henne, We saw it with Matt Moore. That was one of the arguments that Tyreek Hill made when he was in his
that's true.
I love the Dolphins, I'm really not all that enamored with the Chiefs phase, and Tua is the most accurate quarterback in football. I put up 150 yards plus with Matt Moore as my quarterback. So it is the system. That's a good one. I'll go with Tyrod Taylor just because we were talking about him already. I think, he's a guy that I'm concerned about his ability to stay healthy week in and week out. But if Aaron Rodgers gets injured on the fourth snap of a game, I feel pretty good about Tyrod Taylor coming in, being prepared. He said that himself. We played that clip. He prepares like he's going to start. He's started enough. He's got the experience. I trust him if he gets thrust into the mix unexpectedly late in the game. Let's say that Aaron Rodgers would have an unfortunate encounter with Dr. Needle, like Tyrod Taylor once did, opening the door for Justin Herbert to start as a rookie when the Chargers were determined not to use him. All right, next topic. Quarterback competition I'm keeping an eye on is what?
I'm going to go with the Giants because I think that Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, A, is interesting, but B, it kind of feels like Daniel Jones might be on thin ice, just based on the way that we've heard that the Giants could be looking for a quarterback at the top of the draft. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but, when John Schneider, even though it was refuted by Drew Lock himself, when he says that Drew Lock went to the New York Giants because there could be a quarterback competition there and he has a better opportunity, like that, I don't think comes from nowhere. So I like to keep an eye on that one because even though the Giants paid Daniel Jones, it's not like he played up to that standard that he set by signing the contract.
I agree with you completely. Coming off of the torn ACL, there was some chatter coming out of the combine. I think Rich Eisen's the one who said that he got the impression that they've got buyer's remorse. They are looking for a reason to move on from Daniel Jones. And we saw Drew Lock play very well against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that the Giants will see twice this year. It was that Monday night game where Drew Lock helped the Seahawks pull off an upset win. I think the Steelers, to me, is a fascinating one to watch because there's already been some chatter that, hey, Russell Wilson's only got a $1.21 million non-guaranteed contract from the Steelers. If they decide during training camp that Justin Fields is clearly better, they could just get rid of Russell Wilson. I don't imagine that they're going to do that. Why would you get rid of the guy who you could keep on the depth chart for $1.2 million, right? Yeah. Why would you cut him at that point? Unless he pitches a Kenny Pickett-style fit and your only move at that point is to get rid of him. You could trade him for $1.2 million at that point. There'll be somebody else out there that's willing to bring him in by the time they start playing games and guys start getting injured. But that one, to me, is just one I'm keeping an eye on because there's a chance Justin Fields is better than Russell Wilson right now. If the last 2 years weren't an aberration, Justin Fields is better than Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, but, I think to your point, Russell Wilson's got experience, so it's not like you don't want him around. And we'll see if Russell Wilson embraces a mentorship role with Justin Fields. I mean, he has sort of tried to throw things out there where he's saying, I'm a good teammate, blah, blah, blah. He texted Kenny Pickett and maybe Kenny Pickett threw the phone because he didn't like it. But, I can see Russell Wilson being a good teammate with Justin Fields, no matter how that quarterback situation sorts itself out. But we'll have to see.
I'm a good teammate as long as I'm the most important player on the team. Well, I'm a good teammate as long as I'm always on the field. I'm a good teammate as long as I'm the best teammate. I mean, it will be a challenge for him because this is a guy who's trying to rebuild himself this year. So let's say he would get benched for Justin Fields. What do you do? How do you act? And he's always been a guy that comes off as very calculating and strategic. What's your play? What's your chess move if Justin Fields is QB1 going into week 1? Do you just take it and show that you're a good teammate and trust that maybe Justin Fields will stumble and they'll need you to ride to the rescue? Could he get injured like he did last year when Tyson Bagent came in, undrafted rookie, and got it done? So it's going to be complicated for Russell Wilson, but I think at the end of the day, it's simple. If he's not the starter, if something does happen and Fields wins that job, I still think you hang around. You don't demand a trade. You don't start saying a bunch of passive-aggressive things. You just say, Steelers Nation, let's forge, and you move on. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.